What's up, YouTube? I wanted to do a video to elaborate on a statement that I made in my first video. And that statement that I got, it was from a post that I made on Instagram a really long time ago. And the statement is, you can't use temporary solutions to fix permanent problems. And basically that statement means when you have a problem, you have to make sure you look for the permanent solution. A lot of times why people end up still, hurt and unfixed, or whatever you want to call it, where they're just still not over something, some pain or something that hurt them, or a person that hurt them, or it could have just been a situation. I mean, it could be anything. Because I can tell you right now, the majority of this world right now is really, really broken. I see more sadness and depression or anger, any of those emotions associated with something has happened to me that I don't like. Anything. I just see that the majority of this world is broken, at least from what I've seen. People are not just walking in the joy of the Lord. And the main reason is because, like I said, they're seeking all the wrong solutions and answers to those problems. And like, people will use something like attention to, I guess, help them feel pretty or loved, or, women like to flaunt their bodies sometimes when they've been hurt. And they feel like, getting attention is the only way that they're going to feel, loved or pretty again. But it's usually a dude's fault. A dude has already hurt them. So now they feel like, okay, in order for me to feel better, I need attention from other dudes, when that's the worst possible thing that you could do. Another situation could be where somebody has an issue with just love in general, or friendships, or trusting people, and or an addiction. It could be an addiction that somebody has trouble with, and then they get all these self-help books, and these books that motivate you, like, you can do it, you're the one, you're awesome. All of those books, I don't recommend any of those books, because the problem that a lot of these books and a lot of these people who consider themselves inspirational, and they want you to follow, what they're telling you as a means to get over your issue or your addiction or your problem or whatever, or your situation. The problem with what they tell you is that there are two different ways that you can, that people are motivated and have desires for things. And those two different ways are, one, your flesh, which is our propensity to do what we want to do apart from God, and then your spiritual. So the fleshly desires, and then you got the spiritual desires. Because of these two are like opposing forces, you have to understand that when you get a self-help book, or you listen to the advice of somebody who just necessarily doesn't know any better, it's not that they're bad people, but they just don't know any better. The reason why it's not working, or why it'll work, but it only works for but a season, is because you're using the same type of solution to fight the same type of problem. Anybody knows in war, to win a war, to win a battle, you have to use two opposing forces. You can't use two that are one and the same. You can't fight your flesh with your flesh, because that doesn't make any sense. You using your own willpower to get over an addiction, like, man, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm the greatest person in the world, and I got this strong will, and I'll be able to overtake this, and it won't change the person that I am, and I can do it. I can do this on my own. I don't need any help. I've read this book. This book told me that I can do it, and I'm empowered, and I'm a person. Yes. Wrong. The problem is you're using your flesh to try and fight your flesh. You can't use people who are on the same team to fight each other. That just doesn't work. You have to use your spirit to fight against your flesh. You use God's will and his willpower to fight against the things that plague you of your flesh. Breakups, addictions, deaths, tragedies, just anything that you may go through in life, or even if you just need some motivation. The motivation has to come from somewhere that is apart from where you've always been getting it. You've always been getting your solutions from a fleshly desire when you should be getting it from a spiritual desire. If you get it from a spiritual desire, because those two are opposing forces, whichever one you spend more time doing, like if I spend more time listening to gospel music and watching things that are about God, and listening to music that is about God, or watching shows and hanging around people who are spiritual people, whatever. I'm spending more time feeding my spirit than I'm feeding my flesh, so that when a problem arises, my spirit is a lot stronger than my flesh. So I have that opposing force that's been built up to get strong. I have that opposing force that'll be able to face my flesh head on. So if there's an addiction that I struggle with, if I've been taking the necessary steps towards building up the opposing force versus building up myself, and when that problem arises, it doesn't faze me, because I have something inside of me that I've been working on, that I've been building up. I've been lifting the right weights. You got to lift the right weights in order to handle the right fight. You got to equip yourself with the right weapon in order to win the right battle. You can't fight flesh with flesh. They're on the same team. You got to use the things that are spiritual. No self-help book is going to help you, because you can't help yourself, contrary to popular belief. You can't help yourself. You need help from up here. And when I say help from up here, I'm talking about Jesus Christ. You got to rely on God at some point in your life. It shouldn't take when you're desperate. You know what I mean? I've experienced it. I've been through it. I know some people won't take the wisdom that I offer, and it's not much wisdom. I'm not the guru on all things life, but I can tell you right now that what I just said is completely true. It's completely true. You have to use the things of the spirit to fight the things of the flesh that may plague you. Like I said, it could be anything: a breakup, a tragedy, death. And if you just want the right motivation, to get the right motivation, you gotta, think about it. The reason why I'm so assured of myself and of everything that I do in this life, I'm very assured of myself. I'm not boastful. I'd never act like I'm the reason why I am where I'm at. I don't take credit for the things that have happened to me thus far, because I know where I was at my weakest point. I know where I came from, man. And it's called being humble. I know where it came from. I know where my favor comes from. My favor comes from God. And it's because I rely on him. I allow him to fight my battles for me. So that's why, when somebody asks me, regardless of, my life isn't perfect, but anytime somebody asks me how I'm doing, the answer is always wonderful. And the reason it's wonderful is because I'm alive. I get another chance to try again with whatever, with anything. Even if I'm going through something, even if I'm struggling financially, even if it doesn't matter what the problem is, I'm always going to be okay, because I've prepared myself properly for the circumstances of life the right way. You got to prepare yourself the right way for the circumstances of life if you don't want to be trying to fight your flesh with your flesh and end up with this temporary solution. Like you're fine for a season, but then after that, you're back to square one. You're like, man, I thought that book I just read helped me, would help me. The only book that's gonna help you is this black one right here with the goat. Can you see that? Hold on. Can you see that? That's the Holy Bible. For anybody that doesn't know, this is the only book that's gonna be able to help you. And the reason why I feel like I'm able to speak on this, or why I'm allowed to speak on this or share, is because I don't just do this just for fun. I do this because I see what other people go through. I know what I have gone through in my life. And this is the only way that you're going to be able to get through the right way. This is the best motivation that there is. This is where my confidence lies. Since my confidence is 100% here, I don't have to have any confidence in myself. Me, I'm a man. I'm imperfect. And hold on, this makes a lot of sense, right? Nobody in this world is perfect, right? So since you know that no one is perfect, every human being is faulty. We're gonna make mistakes. That is normal. So why put your confidence in something that isn't? Video got cut off because I ran out of time. I forgot to delete the old videos I did. But anyway, why put your confidence in something that's not perfect, that is gonna fail, that is gonna mess up, when you could put it into something that is gonna work? This is the permanent solution. This is the right weapon that you're supposed to use for all those problems that you have. And until you use that right weapon, you're gonna lose every fight. It's only a matter of time before that book that you read from that boy does not work, or that book that you read from that girl does not work. It's only a matter of time, unless what they say is rooted in here. It has to be rooted in here. No self-help. It's God's help, spiritual help to fight these fleshly problems. Fight the right battles with the right weapons. All right, YouTube. So long from the internet preacher who works for free, because my God in heaven holds what's in store for me.